Hello, welcome. I think you're
Hello.
muted. Hello, how are you
I
doing?
have one question. If you have time,
I love your
I
questions.
yes, you sent me some message about the group, but I don't understand. I read some instruction for this group, but I don't understand what if I write some post. It only about this group, not for all my uh, LinkedIn account, not.
Yes, exactly. That's a good question. So when you write in this group, the only people who see your post will be the same people in the group, and the group has all of the participants in our program. So we also have some employers, but more participants than employers. If you would like to share a message with all of your LinkedIn contacts, then you must go out of the group just to your normal profile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and okay. Can I see some employer on this group or no?
We do have some recruiters who are members, but I will admit that they are not very active. So, my recommendation would be to follow the companies directly that you're interested in, and also to reach out and add the recruiters directly. Maybe you will see, for example, JP Morgan. We have one or two recruiters in the group, so maybe you will recognize their name. But I think the best strategy is just to go directly to the website.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay, okay,
The
understood.
purpose
Thank you.
of the group is more to hear about information that is available to you as part of the program. Sometimes we post job openings, sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
post videos or tips. So, but you're more than welcome to also add something, because I think what we wanted was also for job seekers to share some resources there. I know we have the Telegram group, so maybe it's just an
Uh,
extra place to share information.
okay, and the last question. Wrote about every member need to be activity on this group. What I need to do? Yes, I write some post about introduce about me, but what anything I need to do?
Yeah, I think this, maybe I should update this instruction, because to be active is just to be on there to check, because we want you not to miss any information. But yeah, to be active in the group just means to introduce yourself, to check, you don't have to check it every day, but check it like at least once a week to see if there's any important information there that can be
Oh,
useful for you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. We were just getting started. Um, let's see who is here with us today. Natalia, welcome. Irina, two Natalias. Welcome back, Maxim and Galina. So, today we are talking about how to really leverage LinkedIn Learning for your skill development, and also, of course, to be as successful as you can in the job search. Most of you, I'm sure, are already familiar with LinkedIn Learning, but maybe there are a few tips and tricks I can share that will help you use it even more and even better. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about a new feature that LinkedIn has developed, I would say, in the last 3, 4 months, which is their AI powered features. As most of you know, AI is becoming increasingly popular in all kinds of ways, including LinkedIn. And I have personally used it and found it to be helpful. But as with anything in AI, you always have to, of course, check if it doesn't, you don't want it to sound robotic, right? So we'll talk more about how you can use it and use it in a natural way. Before I get started, did anyone else have other non-related questions? We can also have time afterward. Okay. I am going to hit record because I forgot it's on. All right. So in terms of using LinkedIn Learning for increasing your skill at job searching, because I always say that job searching is its own skill set. Of course, hopefully you will not have to use the skill set for too much longer, but as you are currently in the job search, you almost want to become an expert in job searching. And LinkedIn Learning has so many amazing, helpful videos that really break down all these different areas of job searching. So, number one area that I think can always be useful in terms of your practice is interview skills. And what I like about the LinkedIn opportunity of practicing is that they actually do give you feedback. They're going to ask you to respond and to record the answer to the 26 most common questions. And then you will receive, I believe it's AI generated feedback. Has anybody used this feature before? No. I'm just going to show
I
you.
use ChatGPT, but I don't use this function on a LinkedIn account. It's but I saw that sometimes I see this suggestion. What I use.
Yes, it's very useful just to practice. Of course, I think it's always good to practice with a real person, yes, but in addition, we have this opportunity. Does everyone see the pop-up window that were you able to see? No. Let me update. Okay, so when I click that link, this is what pops up. And as you can see, we have all these most common questions, starting with tell me about yourself. What is your greatest strength? And when you press on practice and get feedback, it will prompt you for two options. Number one, to record a video. Number two, to write a response. So, right, once you write a response, blah, 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 and you save it, you can request feedback. I'm not going to hit that button, but once you request feedback, it's going to allow you to, actually, I will click that, allow you to select from people in your connection list. So a really great way to use this, as all of you have your job coach, you have me, you have Carolina, to select your job coach. For example, maybe your job coach is Joanna, right? And once I select Joanna, I have an automated message that comes up and it says, "Hi, Joanna, I'm preparing for an upcoming interview and I would greatly appreciate if you could provide any feedback on my answer to this interview question linked below." So, right, once Joanna clicks this link, she will either be able to read the typed response that you created, or if you did a video recording, she will be able to watch the video recording and give her response to you or her feedback to you in the LinkedIn message, right? So I will not send this because it's just practice, but as you can see, it's a nice, easy process. It doesn't take too much time. Of course, think about your answer before you record or you write it, but I think this is a great feature, and I'm more than happy if anyone sends me any requests for feedback. I will be happy to provide it to you. And the next question, right? So for each question, you're going to create a separate answer, separate writing or separate recording. So that is a great feature that I think at least try it out and see how it works for you. The other feature that I also like is using the pre-recorded courses on LinkedIn Learning that are, of course, related to a certain topic. So this link, for example, is all about, oops, it's all about, sorry, the different aspects of finding a job. So from, updating your profile to writing a strong resume, it really breaks down each section. And some of these areas you may already know about, but especially if you're trying to practice and improve your English, it's always a nice opportunity to do that as well, and hopefully learn something new and useful for your job search. Another way you can use LinkedIn Learning is to earn certificates related to in-demand skills. I will have a side note that's important here, though, because in our program, we have noticed many people taking the opportunity to do an online certificate, which I always support. It's always good to increase your skills, but it's important to remember that you will not get a job just based off that. It's important to, of course, embed the skill that you've learned online in realistic practice, real world practice, or tie it somehow back to your professional experience. This is difficult if you're reskilling. Let's say you don't have that practical experience yet, but still think about what is the bridge between this certificate and either what you have done in the past or what you are currently practicing, maybe as a volunteer, maybe even you're practicing that skill by doing it. Let's say you're a graphic designer, right? You can still practice your graphic design skills in the real world after receiving some sort of online certification. So these are just a few examples of what is currently on the website in terms of in-demand skills. We have generative AI, cybersecurity, project management. And once you click on this link, you will see that it goes to the page LinkedIn Learning and Microsoft, and you can browse through all these different options. And you can click on it and earn the certificate. Let's just, as an example, click on this one. Right, so you'll see there's the total time, I believe, for most of these certificates is quite short. It's only 4 hours, 32 minutes. And once you complete it, right, you will have earned that certificate. And I always recommend to share that certificate on your LinkedIn profile, to add it to your skills section, but also to share, right, just in a post. I'm excited that I finished this, because that's just another way to connect with your network. Any questions about either the job search skills or the in-demand skills? Pretty straightforward. Okay. Another.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
It's this feature only for premium account or for all account? For premium?
Great question. The LinkedIn Learning platform is only available to premium account holders. I hope that everyone on this call has a premium account. Am I right? Perfect. If not, for whatever reason, we, as part of the program, will share with you the code for the premium account. It is valid for 1 year. So definitely, take advantage of that year subscription. and take some courses that are relevant for you. The other thing, of course, there are many ways to practice your language skills, but there are also very good courses on LinkedIn Learning in business English, for English grammar, generally English as a second language, and many other things. And what I did in order to find these courses was I just went to my LinkedIn Learning, which, as a reminder for anyone, if you're on your profile, it's a different part of your profile, right? It's a separate section. But you can just search, right, in the toolbar, right? I searched business English, and then all of these different courses popped up. Virtual meetings for non-English speakers, accents and English as a second language, virtual job interviews for non-native English speakers. So really very interesting courses specific to people like yourself who are not native English speakers. I think some of the other ones, I just typed in English speaking, and what came up were small talk. If you're part of the Business English Club, you know we have practice small talk, writing emails. So yeah, I would recommend exploring these options. You can save the ones that look interesting to you and go back to them later, and you will find them in your library here. I did also look for Polish language practice, and I did not see any. I think because LinkedIn is an American company, it really is geared mostly towards English speakers. So maybe in the future we will have more Polish learning opportunities. One thing that may also be helpful for you when you're watching a video is to update your language into Ukrainian. I know that for me, I speak German, but it takes me much more, let's say, attention and energy to listen to something in German or to read something in German. So if your brain is tired after a long day, but you still want to do something and learn something, you can switch your LinkedIn profile to Ukrainian. And those are the instructions. Right? You're just going to go to your language, manage the account. The only thing that I would remind you of if you do this is to switch back your account to English if you would like, right, your display to be English. But in terms of watching a LinkedIn Learning video in Ukrainian, I think that's a nice option that they recently added, I believe, Ukrainian to the list of languages. All right, so that's it in terms of LinkedIn Learning. I'm curious to hear, because we are such a small group today, what has your experience so far been with LinkedIn Learning? Have you found it to be useful in your job search and skill building? Is there anything that you find not easy to use, or yeah, what has your experience been so far with LinkedIn Learning?
I can say, can share my experience.
Yeah.
I've tried to find something interesting for me, but it's really not easy. Some courses was not interesting because they was a bit different what I wanted, so it take time to find.
Yes, yes. Even to the point maybe you start a course and you realize, no, this is actually not not
Yes.
the right thing for me. Yeah. And please, if you do find a course that's really good and especially related to your industry or field of interest, please do share it with us in, for example, you can share it with your job coach, with me, with the LinkedIn group, because I think we as a community would benefit, because there's, like you said, there's so much out there. Not all of it is helpful or, let's say, the highest quality. But if we as a community can find the videos and the resources that are the best and share them with each other. I think that would be one way to I guess, yeah, support each other. I'm also always looking for the best types of resources, but it's hit or miss at times. But thank you, Natalia, for sharing that. In the end, did you find any course that was useful after your search?
Yes, but maybe it was I don't know, maybe 6 but it really takes time.
Is there
Because
anything
I started to listen, and during these courses realized that it's not for me. But I need to start to understand if it's good, if it's what I wanted. Sometimes even with languages, they speak too quick, and it's not easy to understand, especially because professional words, and not easy.
Yeah, it's a lot of factors, and sometimes even the way the presenter is, right? Are they speaking in a way that makes it interesting, or are they very monotone? 4 hours of this is difficult to get through. So I understand online learning is it's not all, let's say, the most it's not the most targeted information, but we have to sift through it. Yeah. Is there anything, Natalia, that you think would be helpful in navigating faster to the best quality learning resources, or do you think it's just a matter of searching yourself?
Just search.
Yeah, trying
No,
different.
it's my way. Maybe someone can say about own way.
Sure. Anyone else have a method of locating good quality learning resources?
I have a question, not about my experience about learning. Can I find only course the same like seminar or webinar? Yes, it's not about course with instructor. It's only webinar. Yes, a video about these courses, and it's all.
Mostly LinkedIn Learning is a series of videos pre-recorded that you can watch in your own time, and afterward, after you go through, you can earn the certificate in that course, and you can add the certificate to your LinkedIn profile, and you can advertise this on your profile as well.
Thank you.
Lorena, let me add, unfortunately, if you don't mind. Well, actually, I have never had such experience with LinkedIn Learning because I'm not sure that these courses are useful. They are rather short, for an hour, for 2 hours, and I'm sure that they're useful. Now I am tied with Coursera, and following Helena's question, I can answer that there are 2 types of examination on Coursera courses. First of them, when you achieve some material and you have tests, and you have to proceed this text, for example, 80% of positive marks, of positive successful. If you're not successful, you cannot proceed further. The second part of such courses are peer-to-peer graded assessment. It means that you have some written tasks. You have to execute this task and to provide it to other students who are enrolled in this course also. And you have to wait until your assignment will be assessed by another student. So it's quite not so good as you have a teacher or lecturer, but you have living people who can assess your assignment.
Yes, thank you for adding that. Yeah, and I think too, online learning is, for me, more about like, what are you doing with the information? Because like you said, it's often with LinkedIn Learning, it's short term, it's little snippets of tips, but like, are you taking notes and referring back to it? Are you applying that knowledge somehow in your search strategy? Or are you, is it giving you an overview of a skill that you didn't know anything about? Maybe now you have a superficial idea, but it's a good introduction. So, I think it's all about how you use it and what your intention is for the information. Coursera has amazing actual, let's say, more rich courses, more in-depth courses on different topics. So yeah, I would, if you're deciding between LinkedIn Learning and Coursera, I would say look at Coursera first, because they're from accredited universities, versus LinkedIn Learning is just LinkedIn. But for some things, it does have a purpose, I would say.
Yeah, and some courses of Coursera are really difficult, because I provided a course from Microsoft about using Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel, when I've been using this software for almost 30 years. And for Excel, it was rather difficult for me to proceed through this task, because you have a huge course for 30 hours. And after that, you have to build a huge Excel file with a lot of data, with a lot of diagrams, tables, and it was quite difficult for me. I think these courses can be really useful for us. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's great that you completed that. And I think online learning is a challenge, because it's self-motivated and self-directed, and you really have to sit down every day and, give yourself time to do the course. But the benefit is you can do it in your time, and you can do it anywhere. So there's always, pros and cons. But I'm really amazed at all of you for doing so much online, because I know that it's not easy to sit so many hours and to really engage your mind when you have a lot of pressure on you to find a job. So kudos to all of you doing that regularly. I'm going to move on to our other topic now, which is really knowing about the AI-powered profile building. And this, again, just like LinkedIn Learning, is only available to the premium account holders, which is all of you. Has anyone noticed these windows popping up with the AI generated options? Not yet. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of workshopping today, so I hope that you can see it for yourself. But what it does in terms of the profile building is, the idea is to help you create a strong profile with suggestions that AI gives you based off of the information, the data that it has, basically read from what is already there. So what it does is it will identify the key skills and experiences that you have listed. So you do have to have something on your profile. And then it will recommend ways to present them in let's say, a more professional way. So the two areas that AI does this in is the about section of your profile and the headline section. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm just using my profile as an example. So when I click into the edit of my about section, I have this button here that says Write with AI. And when I press that, it will mix around my words, and it will reorganize my paragraphs in a way that I would say tries to be more logical. And I would also add that when I have done this, I notice that it usually increases the length. So it adds additional words. It also changes how I have organized my thoughts. I think this is a nice option to see how it changes it and then for you to edit what it has changed. I would never recommend, using what AI has created and posting because it's AI. Same thing with the headline section. If you click into your headline area and you press edit, you will, under the headline, if you already have words, you must already have words there, you will see this little write with AI option. Again, right, you can see different ways that it does this. If you press write with AI, it will show you several different options, and you can decide to accept them or edit them as you wish, or completely reject it and revert it to what you have. So I'm going to go over to my LinkedIn and just show you, and I would like you all, if you can, at the same time, to go to your profiles and just see what happens when you click on that button. So okay, so here's my LinkedIn, and I go to my profile, and let's work with the headline first. So I want to edit my headline. I go to this, oops. I go to this pencil and I click and I scroll down to headline section and I press write with AI. Option 2, option 3, okay, so it's going to give you 3 different options. So I just like you all to take a moment to see what is the change in your headline when you use AI to update it. In my case, I see that it took the company that I work at and my area. In the other one, it included a certificate that I have. This is not a relevant certificate for me, so I will not choose this one. And then in the third option, it took my company and it took some skills that I have, right? So maybe you don't like any of them, but I will say it might give you good ideas of what to include. Question, yes.
Yes, I have 2 questions. The first question, headline. What I need to write on headline section? What about it? And the next, if you tell me about the first question, I ask about the second question, because I maybe don't understand what is section and what I need to write for the section.
Sure. Yes. So the headline section is a very brief overview of either 2 things. For me, because I'm not job searching, it's my job title and my company and my area of expertise, or my field. If you are job searching and you're looking for a position, then it is the type of job that you are looking for. It's okay if you don't have this job now. You want to include that job title in your headline, because this will be part of the algorithm that the recruiters use to find you. Maybe they're looking for a data analyst in Warsaw, and if you have data analyst in your title, then this will pop up in the search.
Okay, I understand it right. And the next question, I tried to choose AI for this section, but it's not correctly maybe because AI choose my previous job, and in my LinkedIn account, my previous job is finished. I write about it, but AI write me this position and this company. It's maybe I can choose. I can. Choose different convenience for this IA, because when I choose ChatGPT, I can write request. I can add some convenience for my request, but on this section, I can only put only down this bottom, and I can choose different convention or maybe additional information for this request.
That's absolutely right. So the LinkedIn AI is not as advanced, of course, as the ChatGPT AI, because it's not, it doesn't function in the same way. It's just sucking up the data that's on your profile and using that, and you can't edit it, or you can't have the conversation back and forth like ChatGPT. So I think in that case, Elena, you can use ChatGPT instead to create a strong headline. And maybe just for some ideas, you can generate the one with LinkedIn just to see what happens. And maybe you take only little sections of it and you leave out the section that was incorrect because you're no longer in that kind of position.
Yes, when I use some ChatGPT, I write a request about how can I write. I need to write some information for my LinkedIn account, and I write some name of section, and he helped me write all information. Because yes, maybe AI sometimes on a LinkedIn account choose only information from my LinkedIn account, and yes, sometimes it's not correct information for new job, for example.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think in the future, maybe it will change. Maybe LinkedIn will increase the intelligence of their AI tool. But for now, it's a bit, I would say, not so intelligent.
Yes, because I on my previous job I was a head of department, and I understand in English in this country I can't choose this job, but everyone here write me head of department, head of department. It's not not my choice.
Yeah, but that's great that you're using ChatGPT. Do you find it to be useful in those tasks for creating a profile on LinkedIn?
When I choose request with ChatGPT,
Yes.
yes,
useful for
very,
you?
very useful, because sometimes you can't find interesting work for example, if I choose some section about me, yes, ChatGPT more correctly, more, I don't know, literature word to use. I can't speak more fluently than ChatGPT. Yes, it's interesting. It's useful.
Good. Yeah, it's even helpful for me, and I'm a native English speaker, but it gives you some structure and some ideas. Perfect. Let's go back to, yeah, I was talking about the headline section. So did everyone have a moment to just try out this tool? I just want to see if it worked for anyone. We can take a couple minutes away from the screen. And maybe you will find, that it's not helpful, but I think at least knowing about the tools and testing them out is also a good way to increase our knowledge of these new technologies that I think they're here to stay. They're just going to be increasing more and more. And if anyone wants to narrate what they're seeing, feel free to share with the group. Did anyone have any luck with this tool? So as I said, you can use it for the headline as well as the about section. I thought it was more helpful in the about section because that is a bigger paragraph of information. It takes a little bit more careful thought. The headline section is pretty straightforward. So feel free to try it out on the about section as well. And maybe I can follow up with you all next week and see how it worked for you. Another area that the AI is contributing to now is the collaborative articles. And these are basically, if you were to Google search, how can I use LinkedIn to prepare for an interview? You would see probably one of the first things that pops up is the LinkedIn article. And it's basically other users of LinkedIn contributing their knowledge and expertise. And you, as a LinkedIn user, you can also contribute. You can also add your experience, knowledge, and opinion. And why would you do this, right? Well, maybe you want to actually, right, get yourself published on LinkedIn. That's one reason. Maybe you just want to share the information that you know and contribute to the article because you know that this might be helpful for other people. So how do you do that? You basically will go and find the article related to your interest or field. And I have included in the presentation a list of different articles that you can browse, right? This person created a really helpful list of all of those, and you can just click on it. And once you find, let's say, Maxim, what would you say is your current most wide field of expertise?
Well, I can assume that it's big contract management, for example.
Perfect. So let's say Maxim finds an article on contract management and he, clicks through it and sees that there is some information that's useful, but you have a different insight that you would also like to contribute. So depending on where you think that information would fit, right, you would click on the contribute button and type in, does not have to be very long. Let's say 1 to 2 paragraphs. And once you publish that, right, it will become part of this collaborative article. So here's an example. I clicked on one about communication skills. And once I once I press the button contribute, it even prompts me, right, with some areas. It says, here's the beginning of the sentence, one time at work, or in my experience, or one thing I found helpful. And once I write in my paragraph, I can add it and I will become a contributor to this collaborative article. So that's collaborative articles. The last feature that I would like to highlight to you all is just the very simple writing a post. With all posts on your profile, or even I have this example in our employer network group, I can select the bottom button, Rewrite with AI, and this will generate from my information a elaborated and differently organized post. So it does have to be at least 30 words. This is important so that the AI has something to work with. And of course, it's, you know, your own ideas, your own opinion. And once you select Rewrite with AI, it will create that draft. And I always just make sure to re-edit what the AI has created and to polish it, maybe take some information out or rephrase it, and then you can publish it. I have used this feature a few times lately, and I do like it. I like it because it just adds additional words and it organizes it a bit more. But as I always said, be careful because sometimes it's very obvious that it's AI generated. So that is my info on the AI features of LinkedIn. Any other questions or your own experience if you have played around with these features? I would just add to don't feel intimidated by them. They're just, you know, additional tools to make your life easier, to save you time, and just, you know, feel free to just explore their usage. And if you decide you don't like it, that's fine. But at least you know how it works and you know that it is an option for you. And you can also, like Alina said, you can also do all of this similar work on ChatGPT, copy paste, and put it into a post or put it into an article, of course, with your own editing. And I think, yeah, AI is a bit of a controversial topic because it can be used for good and to make our life simpler, but it can also have its negative effects. So it's a big topic to, I guess, learn about and understand. And I'm also just starting to integrate it into my professional life. So curious how you all feel about AI.
I think for rewriting some of article, it's very useful because sometimes if English not native language for you, yes, rewrite some your things, your article, maybe AI is useful.
Yes.
As to AE, I like to find some complicated information, and I think AI is very good in it. But maybe in another point, it makes even some mistakes in some moments, and so we can be rather attentive in using it. Firstly, and of course, in some moments it was maybe not very good and not very. I don't know how to say. So it's not really not. We are not very ethical, yes, in some moment when they're using AI, as I see this problem. So a really controversial topic.
Absolutely, yeah. There's definitely some ethical question marks in the use of it. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for sharing your opinions and your experiences with LinkedIn Learning and with AI. I will send you out this deck and the recording, and hope that it was useful and helpful for you. And looking forward to our next session. We have 2 more sessions related to LinkedIn left, And then I will resume just the other sort of webinars on other topics. But you're always welcome to go back to the older sessions if you missed any of them. And, you know, you can always, if you have any other LinkedIn related questions, I'm always here for you. Have a good rest of your evening and hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much, Lorena, for interesting
Thank
session. But I
Thanks a
have
lot.
one small question. When
Yes.
will we have our next sessions? At 4 p.m. or at 5 p.m.?
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up because I realized in the last minute that I didn't go back to our normal time. I was sticking with the new time. So in the future, we will be going back to our normal 4 o'clock unless the
Okay.
5 o'clock is better. Does anyone have a preference for 4 or 5? Maybe
No,
we
no.
No. Okay. I think we can just go back to our normal time so we can keep it easy and simple. So I will see you all for the next 2 sessions at your time, 4 o'clock.
At 4. Thank you. Fine. See you next
All right.
week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.